knee-high grasshopper. I did Suzuki, who was good school. I could see with my own eyes things weren't right. But the adults around me said, well, until you have that little piece of paper, that degree, we don't want to hear what you have to say. So fine. I didn't really like socializing too much. I never fit in. People really didn't care about things I thought were important. So I stayed home and I read and I read and I read. Then I got the internet. And I read and I read and I read. And I started off in economics, went to sociology, archaeology, history. Then I found sciences. I finally got into sciences. I have ADHD, so I could never actually focus long enough in high school to actually get the credentials I needed. So I begged my way into all these courses. And then when I finally had enough courses to get a science degree, I had to go back and take all the intro courses that I skipped over. So then when I finally had that, I decided, okay, I'm going to get my physical science degree. I'm going to major in chemistry, earth and atmospheric science, a little bit of physics, and I've got my minor in biology, genetics, so it's good. I've got my background in history. I should be well-rounded with all the, all the other ones. Decided to stay a little longer because everything I was learning in my earth and atmospheric science classes, it was pablum. It was regurgitated pablum that didn't make sense. Nothing made sense because when you come, you've got a chemistry background and a physics background, and they're trying to tell you, natural gas is the way to go and burn carbon, and that's wrong. Anything combustive is going to produce the effects that we don't want to have anymore. So I said, you know what, I'm going to focus more on physics because you can't do physics in chemistry, you can't do anything unless you have those courses. So now I have my degree, I've been published twice, I've done independent research, I've done work, analyzed spectroscopic imagery on Mars to find minerals, I've created my own organic amine, and I think I've got a pretty good handle on science. And science, as it stands right now, is a collection of individuals who have to fight tooth and nail to get grants, to get budgets. Most of them, they have to give up their dreams of pure research because it costs a lot of money. You don't need to be super smart, you don't need to have some kind of super magical talent, you need to read and you need to have a big loan or lots of money. And if I can get a science degree, anybody can, because if you love science, it's there, you can do it. But you have to be careful not to sound like a nutter. You can't say crazy stuff. One woman, she found extremophiles in the desert that substituted some carbon with silicone. She let people know, the media grabs it, and we found alien life. And her career, everybody turned on her, science turned on her, because they know if they even get a whiff of crazy on them, they're going to lose their money. And so it's hard to stand here, but after what I've seen, and I have been remiss in research on this subject, so I thought, I've seen them for years, I've been pointing them out, these can't be contrails, it doesn't make sense. Physically, it doesn't make sense. You can't have that. You can't have that. Why, with your eyes, you can see that, but people don't trust their eyes because the authorities tell them that what they're seeing is normal, that they've always seen it, but you haven't seen it. You know that if something is condensing in the air, it's not shooting out of a funnel, it's going to be condensing, a little bit behind the plane when the cold air stops, and the heat from the engine stops. And then it's going to dissipate in 30 seconds, 60 seconds. When we were kids, we saw them, we saw the jet, we heard the jet, we saw the jet, we see the trails, we try and get them out to see them look, but they're just talking, they won't look, and it's gone. Because contrails, normal condensation of moisture that happens 70% humidity or above in certain conditions that aren't the same conditions as cloud formation and certainly aren't the same conditions as spewing chemicals into the air, it's different. And the evidence is there. And I thought, okay, so maybe we just have to get, people aware, because just as long as we all admit we can see it, then it's fine. But then I delved deeper, and it's not fine because we are late. We are so late. There are people in this audience who have been trying to speak out for decades. This started happening in 1999. in 1996. And I double checked just to make sure this was actually off the site because this can't be, this is nuts. But it was. And in 1996, they commissioned a report that was called Air Force 2025. And it was all about weather modification and solar and space weather modification, but also ionizing the atmosphere. So you could, there's so many applications to this. It's not, I mean, yes, we think they're trying to offset global warming. I mean, that's the happy, fuzzy feeling that we want, but there's more. It's so much more. And it started off as the Air Force, and they've outlined it. You have got to check this out. They've outlined it, and you can find it on the Facebook page. You can find it online. You can find it on the Air University website. You can find it anywhere. But they outline it, and they say that the weapons applications, the communications applications, the applications for modifying weather and controlling weather, they spell it out, they tell you, and then they get into using smart particles, nanotechnology, nanoparticles that they're going to use, and basically create cloud computers, literally cloud computers. And it sounds crazy, but if you're holding a smartphone in your hand, you have the internet in your hand. Technology is past what we think, oh, is sci-fi. It's not sci-fi, it's happening, and it's been happening for a while. And that was, almost 20 years ago. So the technology has gotten so much better. And think about the phone you were carrying around 20 years ago. You probably weren't. Okay? Think about what you're carrying around now. We know that the University of Alberta, the NID, the Institute for Nanotechnology, this exists. We have citizen scientists. I mean, nobody will touch this. The woman on the documentary, she's 30 years with all the affiliates, ABC, NBC, CBC, she was a CNN anchor reporter, Gwen Scott. She's now a holistic doctor and she speaks out on this, but she pulled in every paper she had ever made, everything, every convention she had ever made. Nobody would touch it, and the ones who wanted to, they got stonewalled. So the media, they're not allowed to touch it. Nobody, Greenpeace won't touch it. The EPA won't recognize it. It is crazy. It's crazy, but it's actually true because I'm sure that everybody here has seen it with their own eyes. So whatever the reason, whether it's beneficent or whether they're trying to wipe us all out so they can clear off the population, call the herd, who knows? But the point is, it's happening and they cannot control it. They can put it up there, but as a scientist, I can guarantee you that even the class, they don't have the technology to understand how the ramifications of this. They don't. And maybe they don't care because they'll be dead in 50, 60, 70 years. It doesn't matter. They're creating whatever. Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. The fact is that they're doing it. And we, instead of focusing on answers, which are lovely, are great, we need to start focusing on the right questions. Why are we not getting answers? Why do they pretend that they're not in the air? When it's a global thing. You look at the pictures, the satellite, and it's global. So it can't be an Air Force project anymore. Because it's over our skies. So something is happening and it's global and no one will talk about it. And it will make you think that you're crazy. But you're not crazy. There weren't lines, checkerboards in the skies when you were a child. You remember that. These people aren't smarter than you. They have more resources, they have more time, and they have agendas, but they're not smarter than you.